Congress just delivered the biggest Social Security victory in decades. And if you're a teacher, firefighter, police officer, or any public employee, this could mean hundreds or even thousands more dollars in your monthly check. On January 5th, 2025, President Biden signed the Social Security Fairness Act, which repeals two federal laws, the Windfall Elimination Provision, WEP, and the Government Pension Offset, GPO, that have been cutting benefits for nearly 3 million Americans for almost 40 years. I've been tracking Social Security legislation for over a decade, and I can tell you this doesn't happen often. When Congress moves this fast on Social Security, it's because the impact is massive and the need is urgent. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly how much money you could be getting when those payments start, and what you need to do right now to claim what's rightfully yours. Here's what makes this different from every other Social Security promise you've heard. Most affected beneficiaries began receiving their new monthly benefit amount in April 2025, and retroactive payments covering increases back to January 2024 are already being processed. This isn't a future promise, it's happening now. For nearly 4 decades, two arcane provisions buried deep in Social Security law have been quietly stealing money from the people who serve our communities. The Windfall Elimination Provision and Government Pension Offset weren't designed to be fair. They were designed to save the government money by reducing benefits for teachers, firefighters, police officers, and other public servants who also earned pensions from their government jobs. Here's how broken this system was. You could work 30 years paying into Social Security, then spend another 20 years as a teacher, and Social Security would slash your benefits simply because you earned a teacher's pension. Or, if you were a police officer's widow, you could lose your survivor benefits just because your late husband had a government pension. The provisions had been in place for nearly 40 years and reduced Social Security payments to nearly 3 million Americans. The timing of this law matters because Social Security's financial pressures are mounting, yet Congress still acted decisively. This tells you just how unfair these provisions were and how urgent the need for relief had become. When politicians from both parties agree on Social Security changes this quickly, you know real people were being seriously hurt. Let's cut through the confusion and talk about exactly what this law does. The Social Security Fairness Act, H.R. 82, concerning the Windfall Elimination Program and Government Pension Offset, was signed into law on January 5, 2025. The act eliminates the reduction of Social Security benefits while entitled to public pensions from work not covered by Social Security. In plain English, if you worked jobs that paid into Social Security and you have a pension from government work that didn't pay Social Security taxes, you're no longer penalized for having both. Here's who this helps most. Teachers in 15 states where teacher retirement systems don't pay into Social Security, federal employees hired before 1984 under the old civil service retirement system, police officers and firefighters with separate retirement systems, state and local government workers whose pensions don't coordinate with Social Security, surviving spouses of any of these workers. The numbers are staggering. Before this law, the government pension offset could reduce survivor benefits by up to 2/3 of your government pension amount. Many people lost their entire survivor benefit. The Windfall Elimination Provision used a complex formula that could cut your earned Social Security benefits by up to $550 per month in 2024. Now, those reductions are completely gone. If you were getting $1,200 in Social Security, but it was reduced to $800 because of WEP, you'll now get that full $2,200. If you lost your $900 survivor benefit because of GPO, you're getting it back. Let's talk about the money you're actually going to see. As of week ending July 17, 2025, SSA has taken 289,715 new applications since the Social Security Fairness Act was passed. We have completed 92% of the new applications. The Social Security Administration is processing these benefit increases faster than anyone expected. Here's the timeline that matters to your wallet. Most affected beneficiaries began receiving their new monthly benefit amount in April 2025 for their March 2025 benefits. Starting the week of February 24, 2025, SSA is beginning to pay retroactive benefits. This payment will cover the increase in their benefit amount back to January 2024, the month when WEP and GPO no longer applies. Think about what this means. If you were losing $400 per month to these provisions, you're not just getting that $400 back going forward. You're getting a lump sum covering all the money you should have received since January 2024. That's potentially $6,000 to $8,000 in back payments, plus your ongoing monthly increase. The Social Security Administration has created a dedicated webpage with frequently asked questions, and they're actively reaching out to affected beneficiaries. But here's the key point. You don't need to do anything special to apply for these benefits if you're already receiving Social Security. The increases are being calculated and applied automatically. However, if you were previously denied Social Security benefits because of the WEP or GPO, or if you never applied because you knew these provisions would eliminate your benefits, now is the time to file a new application. While the Social Security Fairness Act grabbed headlines, Congress isn't stopping there. The Social Security Administration, SSA, is celebrating the passage of the One Big Beautiful Bill, a landmark piece of legislation that delivers long-awaited tax relief to millions of older Americans. This separate legislation, passed in July 2025, provides up to $6,000 per eligible taxpayer as an additional tax deduction for seniors. The senior bonus deduction would be in effect from 2025 through 2028. There's also movement on broader Social Security reform. The Social Security Expansion Act and Social Security Enhancement and Protection Act have been introduced in Congress, signaling that lawmakers are taking a comprehensive look at strengthening the entire system, not just fixing these specific problems. But let's be clear about what's real versus what's proposed. The Social Security Fairness Act is law. It's happening. The tax relief for seniors is law. It's happening. Everything else is still working its way through the legislative process. If you think you might be affected by this change, here's your action plan. First, check your current Social Security benefits. Look at your latest Social Security statement, or log into your My Social Security account online. If you see any mention of WEP or GPO reductions, or if your benefits seem lower than they should be, you're likely affected. Second, if you haven't been receiving Social Security benefits because you thought WEP or GPO would eliminate them, contact Social Security immediately. On January 24, 2025, SSA updated this page with a list of frequently asked questions, and they have dedicated staff helping people navigate these changes. Third, keep all your documentation. While the Social Security Administration is handling most of this automatically, having your pension information, work history, and previous Social Security correspondence can help resolve any questions quickly. Fourth, be patient but persistent. The SSA is processing hundreds of thousands of cases, and while they're moving quickly, complex cases might take longer. If you don't see changes in your benefits within a few months, follow up. Most importantly, spread the word. Many people affected by WEP and GPO don't even know these provisions existed or that they've been eliminated. If you know teachers, firefighters, police officers, or other public servants, make sure they're aware of these changes. I know many of you have been fighting this battle for years, maybe decades. You've watched your hard-earned benefits get cut while feeling powerless to change anything. The frustration, the sense of unfairness, the worry about your financial security, all of that was completely valid. What happened to you wasn't right. You paid into Social Security, you earned those benefits, and having them reduced because you also served the public was fundamentally unfair. You deserve better, and now you're finally getting it. For those of you caring for aging parents or spouses affected by these provisions, this change might provide significant relief to your family's finances. That extra money each month can mean the difference between struggling and living with dignity. If you're still working and planning for retirement, these changes also matter for your future. Knowing that WEP and GPO are gone means you can plan more accurately for your retirement income. You no longer have to choose between public service and fair Social Security benefits. Remember, this victory happened because people like you refused to give up. Advocacy groups, unions, and individual citizens kept pushing for fairness. Your voices mattered, and they made this change possible. I want to hear from you about how this affects your situation. In the comments below, let me know. Are you affected by WEP or GPO, and what does this change mean for your family? Have you already seen increases in your Social Security payments? What questions do you still have about how this works? Your experiences help other viewers understand how these changes work in real life, and your questions help me create content that actually serves your needs. If this video helped you understand what's happening with Social Security, hit that like button. It tells YouTube to show this information to more people who need it. And if you want to stay updated on Social Security changes, policy updates, and retirement planning strategies that actually work, subscribe and ring that notification bell. I read every comment and respond to as many as I can, especially when you're sharing your experiences or asking specific questions about your situation. Let's recap what you need to remember. The Social Security Fairness Act eliminated two unfair provisions that have been cutting benefits for public servants for nearly 40 years. If you're affected, your benefits are increasing automatically, and you may be getting substantial back payments covering increases since January 2024. SSA has taken 289,115 new applications since the Social Security Fairness Act was passed and is processing them rapidly. This isn't just about money, though the money matters. This is about fairness, recognition, and respect for people who dedicated their careers to serving others. You earned these benefits, and now you're finally getting them. Your next step is simple. Check your Social Security situation. If you think you're affected, contact Social Security or visit their website for the latest information. If you know someone who might be affected, share this information with them. This kind of positive change in Social Security doesn't happen often, but when it does, it reminds us that persistence pays off and that advocacy matters. Keep staying informed, keep asking questions, and keep demanding fairness from the systems that are supposed to serve you. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video, where we'll dive deeper into how these changes affect your retirement planning strategy.